we're discussing on the science, let me add you one information and you can say whether you heard it or it's a fact or not.
Sure.
I've heard, and again we have to validate before we state it as a fact, that science is saying in terms of AI, artificial intelligence, when you talk about natural language processing, when they tried many languages to process, they say AI was able to learn Sanskrit faster.
Now, the way I answer this question is why I don't get views in millions, because I can say yes, of course, Sanskrit has
then
everything.
we get 2 million
we
views
can
and we are
just do
happy
everything.
about
But
it.
for genuine seekers of Sanskrit, it is possible. It definitely is the case. The sentence structure is very, it has that integrity of rules. So every language has a set of grammatical rules and there are exceptions to that rule. Sanskrit language has grammatical rules, and if there are exceptions, those are also laid out, that these are the only exceptions and these are the cases where there can be exceptions.
Right.
In those 4,000 rules of Panini's Ashtadhyayi, the rules of grammar.
Okay.
And they have been laid down, and so generally once we start thinking of grammatical structures in English or generally Western languages, what we think of is a sentence. A sentence can have some kind of, structure and sequencing of where words go in front. I want to go home. I home want to go is no longer a valid, viable sentence. Yeah. But in Sanskrit, it is not so. Yeah.
Okay.
You can play and mix and match words everywhere you want in a sentence.
And it still makes sense.
It still makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
If you can give an
Griham gantum ichchami.
Okay.
Is the exact translation of what I said right now. I want to go home. Aham griham gantum ichchami.
Okay.
Ichchami aham griham gantum.
Okay.
Same thing. Gantum ichchami aham griham.
Same
thing. It's actually holds true in some regional languages of India also, because of the same proximity with Sanskrit. నేను ఇంటికి వెళ్ళాలనుకుంటున్నాను. ఇంటికి వెళ్ళాలనుకుంటున్నాను నేను. వెళ్ళాలి ఇంటికి నేను ఇంటికి వెళ్ళాలనుకుంటున్నాను. So in Hindi also, but in Sanskrit it is much more
flexible.
It's much more intact, that those words can be played around. This is why it becomes so much more complex to understand some shlokas like Jatatavi Galat Jala Pravaha Pavitasthale, because it is not in subject object verb or verb object subject. No sentence structure like that.
Okay.
Where is the verb? We have to find out what is he meaning by all this. You have to find out, and then you have to do an Anvaya Krama that we used to do in childhood in some of these classes,
and
Shloka classes.
Okay.
So aham griham gantum ichchami aham. Why that happened was whatever context needed to be set as to what is happening to that I, how many of that I's exist, what tense is this in, is it a present continuous, whatever, and what how is that object related to the verb. All of this is encoded within the word itself. The word has the context. Home does not have any context. Home is home. I want to go home. Home exists there. I want to destroy my home. Home stays home.
Okay.
Griham, grihaya, grihasya, grihat, grihe. That word home, griham, can be transmuted into so many other... That structure itself can be transformed so that it has context in itself.
Okay.
So you can't use aham grihe gantum ichchami. You can't say that.
Okay.
So whenever I say griham, you know that it is in that context where I want to go there. If it is in the house, in the got added. But I would say grihe asti. So now I can, in the house, I can't move the words around.
Yeah.
Grihe, I can move anywhere I want.
Wonderful.
That makes sense, right?
So that's where the reason why people actually say, when you read a word or a phrase or a verse in Sanskrit, you need to know the context.
Yes.
Because you might understand, because you only read like 1 minute reel we see. A lot of times I keep asking people, don't send me 1 minute reel, say, is this true? I just need a 1 hour whole video because it can be cut anywhere.
Yeah.
So is that true that we can take words and tweak it, the understanding? Like, why I'm coming to that is, like, for example, commentaries which are made by great people. I respect everybody who makes commentary. So is that because today's context, 2023, the context is different. 1913, let's say, when we were in translating Sanskrit to English or Telugu or anything, my context is different. I'm a freedom fighter. I'm a something else. I might read that when I translate. I might get a different meaning.
Yeah.
So
it's possible. It is not
so
possible.
Context
it is so.
It is so. So context is very important when you read a shloka, right? What's happening
the source, most of these verses are so layered in their approach. So like I keep saying, right? I've read Bhagavad Gita maybe, I don't know, more than, I lost count, maybe 10 times minimum. It's not like I know it now. If I start reading it, I'm doing Bhagavad Gita reels again for Geeta Jayanti coming up. I read it and I'm like, how did I miss this point? This is, it's so profound and it's fresh every time you read it. And that is probably one of the reasons why, we are not so aware of it, conscious of it. But that is why all these stories, how many ever times they are told again and again, we are hooked to it because they stay relevant. It's the same story. It's the same truth he has explained. It's the same truth people have been telling in so many different ways for centuries. All the, the Prasthanatrayi, Bhagavad Gita, all the 18 Upanishads, all of them, the Puranas, say the same, package the same story, Upanishad, Yoga Sutras. But because of our condition, for our life situation, like you were saying, the context, whatever context, wherever we are in time and space, those stay relevant because they are not talking, their essence is not time bound. As long as human nature is, we are the way we are, unless we all transcend and become some other kind of level of human existence, for our human condition, the way it has been for the past how many ever millennia, these stay relevant.
So that is why we call it Sanatana Dharma.
Yes.
Because it is relevant forever.
As long as human...
As long as we are there, it's relevant,
we are,
right?
It is,
So I think this is where I should give a high five to you. Because Geeta, and as you said 10 times, I also do the same thing. I have a Parana Principle of, and I teach it to all my Yuva Bandhus, 7 slokas a day. Not, as I said, slokas is something we are not yet qualified. We have not learned Sanskrit. But English transliteration. And we read only 7. Don't go by meaning. Don't find out like what is this concept. Did I learn it today? No. Read it. Leave it there. Next day 7. Next day 7. 100 days you finish Geeta Parayana. Just what you are saying. 108 days. Like that we finish. We restart. And you exactly what words you told me. Even today I read 7 and came. I would say it gave me a different meaning.
Yeah.
Because as you exactly said, the essence is rasa is still there. You can make it like what we used to do in Rasna, if you don't know. If you remember it, you are pretty young for me. Okay. For our generation, we used to have a Rasna concentrate. Okay, the concentrate you put only 1 drop and you add water into it. So we used to have Rasna small thing in the fridge and we used to get water every day. So we keep on filling the water. And you can make so many bottles of rasna with small thing. Like that's what rasa is. I feel that's how I think Sanatana Dharma is relevant every day. Yeah,
it is interpreted differently based on where one is in life. So 10 different people read it, it might hit them completely differently. And it might not be the same shloka they all identify with. For somebody who is looking for something, the answer is in the 7th Adhyaya. Somebody else, it's in the 8th Adhyaya.
And today, it might be 7th Adhyaya. Tomorrow, it might be 9th
Adhyaya. It is like
But when you are stuck with a Dharma Sankata, when you are stuck with something with choices both look good.
Yes.
Right? Should I go to engineering? Should I go to doctor? Is probably cannot be answered in Geeta. But am I stable? Am I stable to take the decision?
We just exist in bliss. Existential crisis and all, we are happy the way we are.
So
we know where we
I think Bhagavad Gita, that's I think beautifully you told about the essence being there and we drawing out. And so we have discussed about a lot of things. So let me try to rag you.
Okay.
Let me do a rapid fire.
Sure.
This is the first time we are introducing rapid fire kind of questions.
Wonderful. I'm excited.
Typically, we love to get long answers.
Yeah.
But I would like to ask you.
I hope there are no grammatical explanations or anything that is needed. Otherwise, I'll get a blackboard and I'll No, I'm just
probably
kidding.
Simple answers.
Let me see. I'll try to keep it to a word.
1 word, few words, max.
Okay.
That's all.
Cool.
Okay?
Yes.
Let's start. Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Which Yuga you would like to stay in?
None of them. I'm here now. It's great.
So Kali Yuga.
This is it. This is enough.
Okay.
The last.
Okay. If you meet Lord Krishna right now, what is the first word or first sentence you will talk to him?
I'll not talk. Why will I waste time talking? I'll just.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What's the one temple you visited most of the times?
Most. The thing is, I just in Basara Saraswati temple and Tirumala, of course. I was in the Chittor district area, so
right.
Yeah.
And one temple you want to visit and you are not yet visited. I know many of them.
Oh my God!
No.
There is one answer for this for sure. There is Vishwanath. I have not seen so far. Kashi
Vishwanath.
I have not seen,
That's
and
good.
I don't want to go also. I am waiting. I don't know when, where. I've only recently, just last year I think, seen Ganga for the first time in my life. I'm 32. The first time I saw Ganga recently. Vishwanatha, I've not had
darshan?
No,
okay.
Not yet.
Soon.
Not soon also. I'm not planning.
You're not planning?
I am just waiting. Let it build.
Okay. One shloka you had the highest impact.
Vagarthaviva sampraktau. I mean, there are so many of them. This comes to mind immediately.
Okay.
Vagarthaviva sampraktau, vagartha pratipattaye, jagataf pitaro vande, parvati parameshwarau. So, it just encapsulates what Sanskrit. It's by Kalidasa. It in one shloka he just says what is Sanskrit, what is the potential of Sanskrit. The wordplay in it is amazing. I can just go on about the shloka forever, but
yeah, I understood.
Yeah.
Okay. One word in Sanskrit that describes you.
Rapid fire that.
Good.
One word in Sanskrit that describes me. I don't know. I've never thought.
I'll tell one word I saw in you when I saw you and I met you. Om.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet.
That's one word I got when I saw you. So great. This is a little tricky question, but I'll ask. Okay. If Sanskrit is what is to Telugu,
okay,
what is English to?
If Sanskrit is to Telugu, what?
Because they say Telugu comes from Sanskrit.
English is to this one of these latest what they make these movies they make Klingon. You can make arbitrary stuff. I have zero respect for it.
So
I can make up a language like this for whatever.
Understood. Okay, since you are a Hyderabadi, what's a one common thing between Hyderabad and Sanskrit?
Hyderabad as a word has nothing in common to Sanskrit.
No,
but
okay, city.
Bhagyanagar
As okay, let's take it as city.
The city. Hyderabad, what does it have in? It's accommodating. It has all sorts of people in it.
Beautiful. Yeah. Very good. Then one humorous Sanskrit sentence to us.
Humor in Sanskrit, there are many Vyangya Rachanas and various kinds of like Kavayami Vayami Yami is one of the viewer comes and says, I can Kavayami Vayami.
Yeah, that you told.
Yami.
Beautiful it is.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. One country you would like to visit?
I would like to visit them all.
There's no specific you're looking for.
I heard New Zealand is good. Oh, one of my Sanskrit teachers told me he had a great time in Fiji, and he had a great time conducting sessions in Fiji. I don't know how it is, but I would like to visit them all and come.
Have you heard a name of country called Suriname?
Suriname, I know. I have a couple of students there. They
beautiful.
Keep calling
I think
me
you should
Suriname.
go.
It has a good Indian population.
Yeah, it's got about I think 25% is Indian population.
Yeah. Even Fiji is like that, I've heard.
Yeah, Fiji is also like that. Yeah, I know. Okay, one last question. I don't know whether anybody asked you. Do you wear jeans?
I used to. Now I will again because I'm going to the Himalayan trek. Depends on where I am, how I am. I have nothing against wearing any kind of clothing. I find this comfortable for where I am right now, so I wear this. I used to wear jeans. That used to be my kind of uniform all the time.
Okay.
But nowadays I don't. I find these very comfortable.
Okay, then since you said you are comfortable with, let's say a hypothetical scenario. You have a choice only to live either in US or UK. What will you do?
Only those two? No, this Bharat Desham.
Right now, I'm just giving a hypothetical.
Between UK and
I don't want you to go
States.
leave Bharat anytime, but if it is US or UK, and you can say pass.
I think I would choose USA.
That's all I had.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Sanskrit gurinchi, I think we have spoken a lot, but let me ask you one important question. Sanskrit as a language నేను నేర్చుకుంది ఇంటర్మీడియట్లో +2లో మార్క్స్ రావడానికి.
Same. The tragedy of it is something so valuable, so
And we deem it to-
relishable. What happens is it can either make or break one's approach towards Sanskrit. Kada. It can make or break one's impression of what the language is. It was bad. Even I felt what kind of nonsense language is this, and I'm really glad that it did not stick. That impression did not stick in my life.
So,
and I could change it.
So where did Bharat lose that greatness of Sanskrit to what it has become now?
They're trying to revive it. So basically, what intermediate, where did we lose it? From my understanding of it, it was not with time. From some of my contacts, some of the people that I've spoken to have this impression that, because it is so cumbersome to learn, because it is very complex, it is not, it takes so much effort to learn it. With time, like dinosaurs, this got extinct, and that is what their impression is. Somehow they don't get this, despite the evidence that there was systematic attack on Sanskrit. People saw that this was the key to all sciences, all exploration, be it music, dance, architecture, medicine, food sciences, agriculture, anything from Vastu to Tantra to Yoga, Sangeeta, Natya, Jyotisha. All these sciences were explored very deeply, and there are hundreds and hundreds of available manuscripts existing, thousands of them, and lakhs of them which are still to be found and decoded and translated and even be opened and seen what is there in them. All these knowledge systems exist, and the key to understand all of them is Sanskrit. So there was deliberate, directed attack to make sure that English is projected as the language of the elite, of the intellectual, what can somebody who has learned Sanskrit do right now? He can either become a priest or a teacher. That's how the situation is right now.
That's the only thing.
The government is again trying to open new institutes of manuscript research places. They're trying to establish institutes of interpretation of Sanskrit texts. Some of the most pioneering works of Sanskrit have only been found and decoded as recently as 1980s, 1970s. Arthashastra. People did not know Arthashastra existed. Just a couple, like 20, 30 years ago, nobody knew. Now it's 2023. 40, 50 years ago, I'm still living in the 1990s. So 40, 50 years ago, nobody knew that Arthashastra as a text existed. Can you imagine? So we don't know how many other such treasures exist, which we have lost access to, not because people lost interest in them, but because something was replaced by force.
Okay.
So it will not by itself grow back again. So the interest never dies because it is Sanatana. The knowledge stream never dries out. It is just that people who have, our hands were broken, the pails that we can fetch from that stream, which is Sanskrit as a language, which we can gain skill in and mastery in and build ourselves up to that stage, that states of being divine, that was systematically broken.
So it was like intentionally done.
Absolutely. Macaulay's, and there are letters of Macaulay and everybody else, how he wrote saying, okay, they have identified what their, so Gurukulas were destroyed. We all know these stories of Nalanda and Takshashila and how 3 months or something a library was burning.
That's what I heard.
If it's a military operation, military base, you go destroy it, fine. But it's a source of knowledge. And any faction, be it, whatever religion, going and destroying somebody else's knowledge expression and knowledge base is
brutal, actually.
Yeah, it's brutal. People don't realize it because it is not hurting their stomachs. Who is losing out on this is not Sanskrit, it is us. It's not, it's
survive this, and we should. I think it's a great thing what you are running in this channel, and you're teaching and making people, interested in learning. So if I can ask few resources where people can actually cling on, apart, obviously the best channel is the Sanskrit channel.
I wouldn't say mine is the best.
No, for me, yes, because I've been searching for many people who can actually teach in a very harmonious way and very passionate way, because otherwise it is very academical. I don't want it to be academic because
I see what you mean.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a BTech or a MBBS or MBA. I want it to be Telugu.
I want to take this opportunity up and please take this up as a message. I don't know. I don't want to claim myself as some authority to give out advices to people. But Sanskrit teachers, what we have to be mindful of is, this is an advice I also am giving myself and constantly am aware of, is any teacher should approach a student at their level. It's not like, okay, I know this much knowledge, so I will be at this level and deliver what I have to deliver. It has to be at the student's level, what they know, and from that level, where do they want to go to the next, what is the next step, and reach that and teach them there.
Okay.
So this is where there is a disconnect between Sanskrit teachers and
students,
general audiences and students. Is there are hours and hours of explorations and there are many discourses and many lectures which don't find that reach. Because they are talking somewhere else. They're talking about Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi and they're talking about Ashtadhyayi, which is needed, of course. But how can it be made accessible, approachable? Start at a level which is very digestible, especially in a generation where every other platform is trying to reduce the attention span of its users. Now you demand 2 hours of undivided attention to learn a concept.
It doesn't work.
It's not going to happen. So I am trying to make reels. For the love of God, how do I teach Sanskrit in a minute?
No, but I think that's what, right? I've seen people, when I started making reels for Dharma, they started listening for more hours of it. So it starts with that, that catch.
Yeah, even if there are podcasts, right, there are people listening to long form content. It is not something which they are actively imbibing and working on. They're not applying themselves. So Sanskrit as a language, any field of study where you want to gain a skill, you have to put in that effort and pay undivided attention. Right. That is not happening. That's so podcasts, general conversations for inspiring, getting motivated to do something. People consume content in the background while driving, while doing some, doing some chores around the house. But if you want to pick up an instrument and learn it, you want to learn mathematics, and you have to sit down and work and apply yourself to that. I'm trying. So there are students who are trying, teachers.
Any books you can suggest us?
The first and foremost thing is the intent of how strong is one's desire to learn it. If that is strong enough, you will find any damn instrument. It need not be a book. It can be some shloka that you hear from the temple beside you somewhere. You can pick up Sanskrit from everywhere. It's all around us still.
Right.
Right now, from our names to Pavan to Uday to Bhargav to from our names, all of them, if you just pay enough attention and have that interest and desire within, it exists everywhere. In temples, in literature, in our names, in our houses, in our dishes, in our everything. If that interest exists, great. Book recommendations, I started personally from a book called Geeta Sopanam. It is by Samskrita Bharati. It is a set of 5 or 6 books where Bhagavad Gita shlokas are explored grammatically, word by word broken down, which sandhi, which vibhakti, which linga, vachana, vibhakti, kala, all of those broken down. And all of that in Sanskrit itself, simpler and simpler Sanskrit. There are really good organizations like Samskrita Bharati who conduct workshops, spoken Sanskrit workshops. There is Vyoma Linguistic Labs, which is doing great work. They are sanskritfromhome.in. They have around 60,000-70,000 subscribers. They are doing great work. But again, 2-hour courses, 3-hour courses. The first thing is to generate interest. And that point that you brought up in the very beginning of this conversation, that how do we make people aware that there is something so valuable that exists? For that, we have to somewhere inspire, ignite. And despite doing this for 4 years now, one of the most common questions that I keep getting asked is, how do I start learning Sanskrit? And that is when it hit me that people have been teaching for 40-50 years. Yes. I came up as some pop-up and I start teaching Sanskrit. 1 million people follow. Which means if somebody else comes up and teaches Sanskrit 10 years after me, 1 million people will follow. The interest exists. It's just that teachers have to make sure that they reach the students at their level and see where to take them next.
So we heard from you the multiple sources where you want to, where people would like to learn, and the great books which you suggested and courses. But there is other side of it. Let me bring you and ask you if you had that experiences. And I wish you should not, but I'm asking you if you had.
Sure.
Two types of them. One are the people, parents, who would like their kids to study Sanskrit to showcase that, we are like elite, like what
There
we
are,
discussed.
please. Yeah, for whatever reason. There is this shloka, no? Yoga ratava, bhoga ratava. Do any damn thing. Just
please learn.
Please learn. Yeah, something.
But when they learn, they do not put that into the essence is not learned. It's
That's
learned for the sake of it. So there are many people who actually put their kids or they themselves learn Sanskrit to say that I can recite Shloka. Okay, can you tell the meaning? I don't know.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I generally don't recite a Shloka because Ucharana is very important.
Yes, it is the basis of it.
Exactly.
If that foundation doesn't exist, there's no point.
So it's risky that I might tell a wrong word.
Exactly. It's not that it's just not useful. It can be opposite also. Yeah.
So, but people actually learn it and they showcase. मैं उसको पूछता हूँ, ठीक है भाई, थोड़ा समझाओ उसके बारे में, in what context.
Right.
वो पता नहीं रे, मैं पढ़ा. So that's like rut. I mean, saying rut and by heart and whatever we say. Do you find such kind of students? I'm sure I'm not blaming any names or students who are coming for that. As you said, if they're coming, great, they're learning.
Yeah.
But did you find any scenarios where parents are like, I'm just learning it, or kind of experiences you had?
Let me just first take the side of the parents and then go against them instead of just going against the parents right away.
No, I don't want you to go
because they want
against.
the best for them. I want to. I have some complaints with them. They are one of the reasons parents are watching, But everybody wants, parents usually, they want what is best for their children in their understanding.
Correct.
And
let me add that part of it. No, I'm saying they're not wrong. I'm saying what else they can expect when they come for a Sanskrit. What should they have expectation? What should not have? Let me convert that in that way for parents. I should not come with an expectation. I come to Udayji and
I understand. I have one thing that I want to tell parents is don't send your children thinking, okay, I haven't learned Sanskrit, so let my children at least learn Sanskrit. You find that joy. If you like Sanskrit, you put that effort, you relish Sanskrit language, you find that joy in it, your children will naturally follow.
Okay.
You don't have anything to do with it. You want to do your own thing and, you are busy with your own life and you think investing time and effort in Sanskrit is either pointless or not, worth the effort. Your students, of course, your children will do the same thing. They'll not have that interest or they'll see and emulate you. Of course, there might be exceptional students who are genuinely interested, who will come and who learn, and that is always the best joy out of anything else for a teacher is if something that they have to offer, the student grasps it and finds joy in it. That spark in a student's eyes, nothing else can beat it. Beautiful. It's brilliant. That is something that I dearly miss after taking things up online. But when I was teaching offline in apartments and in temples, the challenge is there that even today that many Sanskrit teachers, for that matter, classical languages, music, dance, many other classical field teachers face is this. I don't blame anybody against with this, that people think these are all extracurricular activities that we are budgeting and wasting our money on. Because what the children face as competition in their schools is against French, against some other, maybe swimming or maybe some other, I don't know, some other sport. Or there is only a limited amount of time for in a child's timetable also. So Sanskrit classes on top of everything else is low priority, somewhere below down there. So there is, I don't know, I've never within myself found that balance to strike on how much to charge as a fee for Sanskrit class. That it was a tragedy. I don't want to even there. It's a whole struggle is the word that comes, but it is a struggle. It's that many Sanskrit teachers face even now, and that I'm trying to see how I can fill. And online seems to be a great way to do it. And I'm very, very grateful that I'm in the situation. I'm seeing how to make that possible for other Sanskrit teachers also, other peers in this field. Wonderful. But somewhere it has to it has to find that right balance where people who are offering it, the teachers who are offering it, students find it valuable, parents find it valuable. If there is something that you demonstrably prove and present is of high production value, it's legit, it's genuine content, concepts of Jyotisha or concepts of Ayurveda, not just the airy fairy stuff, not just the market friendly stuff that ye pehen lo ye ho jayega, yahan reh lo ye ho jayega, or just take this, not stuff at the periphery. But something which is rooted in references with presentable, demonstrable value in it. If it can be compellingly put forward, I think there will be takers.
Excellent.
And that responsibility I'll not just completely leave on students. I'll take it upon teachers. I'll always blame the teachers.
Excellent.
I'll take it upon myself.
When we came to that point, there are many people, I'm sorry not to take definitely any names for sure, but I've seen the people started taking the ride of the growth of what we are seeing in the language. So they are like, they teach words, and I being an illiterate when compared to Sanskrit, when I say that, because the only thing which is Sanskrit which I knew was the 6:55 news which used to come in radio. I love that shloka, and I really, that's the only Sanskrit shloka I know.
Yes.
For me also, I know that what they're teaching is wrong. And I know you don't have to say anything to any one of them, but just a word of caution, if you can tell, what are the basic stuff people have to do if you have to
the absolute fundamental, the absolute foundation which cannot be compromised with is pronunciations, ucharanam. Telugu people call ucharanam. It is not ucharanam. What is ucharanam? It's moving above, like.
Okay.
Is ucharanam. Ucharanam is what it is. It's not ucharan. It's not Ganpati. Gan nahi hai. It's not Ganpati. He's Ganapati. Ganapati. And say that, Anna. I would please do this. Cut it into reels. I don't know how you are going to do this, but please make this viral. Ram hi nahi hai. Rama bhi sahi hi hai. Everybody is this has become a huge trend these days. Ram bolo, Rama क्यों बोल रहे हो? अरे कहाँ जाए हम? It is Karnataka people, for him he is Rama. For Telugu people he is Ramudu. Ramayya. You North Indian people have no problem singing Ramayya Vastavaya. And they forget that he was being referred to as Ramayya there.
Yeah.
It's not everybody calls him Ram.
Yeah.
It's Ramudu, Raman, Tamil people call him.
Yeah.
It's Raman is also Ram. And in Sanskrit it is Ramaha. Everybody conveniently ignored Ramaha.
Ignored Ramaha. Yeah.
Nobody wants to say Ramaha. And Ram has become, it's becoming almost like an imposition.
Right.
And there is a very viral video these days of Amitabh Bachchanji's speech. It is not Dharma, it is Dharma. Maku Dharmamu. So is Dharmamu wrong now? For Karnataka people it is Dharma. It is not just dharam. It is dharma. It's so you have to get the right pronunciations and whatever language you're speaking. अगर हिंदी में बोल रहे हैं तो धर्म बोलिए, कोई problem नहीं है, धर्म ही है. लेकिन अगर संस्कृत का श्लोक बोल रहे हैं, if somebody is reciting a Sanskrit shloka and says no, in my language it is dharam, so I will use dharam only as a pronunciation in a Sanskrit shloka, that is wrong. It is the same with namaskaram, namaste. It is sa. This people don't get. Namaskar, Bangla te theek. It's fine. It's fine if you call it Namaskar in Bangla. But don't bring it to a Sanskrit verse and say Namaskar in Sanskrit language when you're using this. So pronunciation, and there have been this again, you're making fun of my accent. Oh, how it's this is how my tongue has been since childhood. It's not something that has, topcoffed from the sky. It's something that you can work upon yourself, you can refine.
Right.
That is, everything in our human body is in our hands. We can take charge of it, refine it, and get to what is proper. So there are like artham and ardham in Telugu. The number of Sanskrit people who say ardham in the Telugu speaking states is abysmal. They clearly know. It's not that they don't know. Ardha is half. Artha is the essence of something, the meaning.
Yeah.
So it's very simple things like this. There are shlokas that warn people of these mishaps that could happen, dangers of pronouncing something wrongly. Sakala is everything. Shakala is a fragment. So there are...
You have to be careful with where you put the break.
Exactly, where Mahaprana is, where Alpaprana is, what is Rasva, what is Dirgha. This absolute fundamental is paramount. You can't be
Play
loose
around
with
that.
this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there are enough cautionary tales on how dangerous this is. Like you said, people want to ride this wave and present themselves as some kind of, अभी मैं जानता हूँ मैं सब कुछ मैं बताऊंगा तुमको, that kind of people. They exist because there is a vacuum.
Correct.
There is so much demand and there is not enough quality supply. So anything that comes in, anybody who comes in and says, I will supply content now, people are lapping it up because the supply is not matching up to the demand. Yes. So what needs to happen is Sanskrit teachers have to rise up. There are enough. It's not that everybody is just pronouncing everything wrong.
Yeah. No, there
are Sanskrit teachers exist. I have this biggest complaint. I know I'm going on a complaint rant, but
it's fine.
My biggest complaint is always with the Sanskrit teachers. They are finding their demand and they're filling that vacuum. It's because you are not rising up. People who know that actual pronunciations, it's not that they don't exist, they exist in my contact list.
They are not
I keep pushing them, please come. No. They are, if somebody comes, I'll teach. Why take all this effort? Oh, no. They have 10 students, 20 students, they teach in one region. People who know now these days, who have some know-how about the internet, who know how to make 1 video, 2 videos, their content is becoming... I'm thankful they exist.
I think that's what is there in Dharma.
They have to keep these as their fundamentals.
Beautiful.
On top of that, meanings, if you know, then wonderful. If you can utter something properly, that has to be the base. Even interpretations, one has to be mindful of what various layers of interpretation of every shloka or sutra. Otherwise, there are... I don't want to touch upon it and flare that up more, but there are verses from our Puranas and our stotras, like about the Varna Vyavastha, Jati Vyavastha, or about the relationship between Brahma and Saraswati, which becomes a huge, debate. You have to understand the context in which it is said. Who is Brahma? What does he stand for? Who is Saraswati? And what do they mean? Are there 2 people up there in the sky dancing around? Or what does that shloka even represent? So these kind of interpretations have to be there. And I think it will slowly, as everybody evolves and their knowledge evolves, people will get that and grasp that. But the mob that there exists then, and everybody going in that flow, does everybody take their time to evolve their own knowledge? It's a question, and what one can do is just educate, present what we have. And I always take that complete blame upon all the teacher community that we have to do something.
I think you being more humble towards yourself because you are one of the teachers and you're doing it.
I blame us. We are the fault.
But I'll tell you what, from the last season which we did about Dharma and politics, I was speaking to one of the young politicians and he said, why it is not available everywhere, why Dharma or with this discussion about Sanskrit or whatever. He says, Bandhu, it became luxury.
Okay.
So it's not available very easily. And people who have that, like what you said, are not coming and giving it. It became a luxury. So all the fakes will come in now.
Yeah.
Because it became
I will take this upon myself. I'm working in this direction. Let me see.
Thank you very much.
How I can, move people off their asses.
No, I'll tell you, and that's in Dharma, right? Like that's exactly what
they are just sitting
Krishna told Arjuna. You can't just go back, buddy, and stay. You have to work. You have to come into the war.
They have various covers for that.
Various, beautiful. They cover excellent cover drives they play. I tell you, right? They have huge number of people who know a lot of Dharma, and when I ask them to talk about it, walk about it, they're saying, "Yaar, क्यों करना है सब कुछ?" I said, there's something beyond you also, society. And you need to deliver that also to it. So
no, this is something that I am usually conscious about all the time, to not get into a comfort zone, because I
think you're doing a great job. Yeah. I think we are blessed to have people like you who are doing it.
I love it. And I want more. Like I said in the beginning, मुझे बहुत मजा आता है. मैं वो मजा हर एक व्यक्ति को देना चाहता हूँ.
That's exactly what I would like to repeat for what I am doing right now. Sure. And what our foundation is doing it right now. हमें बहुत मजा आता है.
Wonderful.
And we would like to give that maza to everybody. That's what Mahagata Foundation is. So one last question I have.
Sure.
And this is the question which we ask for every bandhu. We call it bandhu because
I like the word.
That's genderless, that's ageless, that's no racism.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, I honestly, I had Samskrita Bandhu as Bandhava as one of the groups.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So every bandhu whom we meet and talk to, we ask one question, and that's something which we would like to accumulate. Probably if you make 100 seasons, and then we have to write a book about what it is. And
Lovely.
what is dharma according to you?
Oh, it's... I'll take Amitabh Bachchanji's cue and say dharma is dharma. It can't be explained in any other language. But the Sanskrit definition for it goes dharyate iti dharma. So if this is what this is my approach towards anything. Thinking in terms of first principles for me is always going to the etymology of a word. So the shloka, you asked me for my favorite shloka, Vag Artha Viva Samprakta, that Vak and Artha are intertwined. So if we want to understand the Artha of the word dharma, what is the root sound in it? What is the source in it? The dha, dhatu. The word dhatu itself has the sound dha in it. That which holds, that which sustains, that which upholds, dharti, dharana, to hold something, to sustain something is dharma. So where does dharma exist? In what is dharma in our lives? There are various kinds of dharma. There is Raja Dharma, there is Putra Dharma, there is Bhratra Dharma, there is Patni Dharma, all sorts of dharmas. There is Swadharma, that exists within ourselves. Dharma, most people, how they understand it as rules and law, is fair, because it is a set of rules that we lay down for ourselves, which make sure that we don't get into conflict with each other. It is as simple as there being traffic rules on a road. So if everybody follows it, people stick to their law and their rules, people are in smooth, there is no conflict with each other, everything, people can sustainably move around and go and do their things in a sustainable manner. No, everybody wants to, there are no rules I don't want to follow, I want to do my own manmani, and rules that do not exist. It is not sustainable anymore, because if the very way life is on the planet, one life feeds off of other life. There is no two ways about it. Life consumes life, and we go back, and then something else consumes us. Fresh life consumes old life. So in that sense, there is always conflict. There is always a scope for conflict in many, many ways. Within ourselves, with relationships around us, it's in this world. So what laws we set down for ourselves between relationships, between a mother and a father, between sons, between siblings, between a kingdom and a king, all of these are different kinds of dharmas for different situations. And they, of course, evolve in time, and they are contextual. And there is something called swadharma, which is how you conduct, how one conducts life within oneself. And that is eternal. That is Sanatana Dharma. So
thank you very, very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for hosting me, Pawanji.
And it was so pleasure to talk to you. So much of knowledge. And I feel that we'll have to have episode 2 or season 2 with you. I would love to have a lot of discussion. I still have so many questions, but I think while I was speaking to you, I got so much of understanding of what a language is for a people.
Thank you so much.
And what language is important for a dharma, how it actually sustains dharma and how it's a main pillar of dharma. Thank you very much for telling us the wise words in Sanskrit.
My pleasure. Thank you
very much.
Namaskaram.
And Shamata.
Shambhu.
Dharma speaks.